इस वीडियो में पावर सिस्टम के बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे कि इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर सिस्टम क्या है, क्यों ज़रूरत इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर सिस्टम की पड़ी है, किस चीज़ का कंपोजिशन है। तो ये सारा का सारा जो वीडियो है उसका एक फंडामेंटल जो चीज़ है कि बेसिक्स क्या हैं, क्या चीज़ें हैं, क्या प्रैक्टिसिंग हैं और क्या दिख रही हैं, वो सब चीज़ें वी विल डिस्कस एंड we will discuss the power system, about what power system is, what is basically the need of the power system, electrical power system, what is generation, transmission, distribution as well as consumption, because in this automation era everything needs most of the things, most of the electrical machineries, most of the electronic gadgets and electrical machineries, whereas most of the equipments, instruments, what they need power to operate, they need electricity. So for this sake needs to generate power. So generation, in the generation, the power generation is dealing with the power plants, either that may be through thermal power plants, hydro power plants, nuclear power plants, either by using the fuel coal in thermal power plants, using the fuel uranium in nuclear power plants, or hydro, big hydro or mega hydro projects and macro hydro projects. By this means the electrical energy and power is getting to generate. So this will all comes under generation section. After generating the power needs to transmit through transmission lines, through commissioning and installing the transmission lines, and through those transmission lines the power is getting to flow towards the distribution end. In distribution end, power is getting to stepped up, the rating is getting to be stepped down. The rating is stepped down by some transformer, and after the transmission, power is just reaching to distribution network or system, and through distribution the consumption, up to the consumption point, power is getting to deliver. And how many types of power we are discussing? Power may be somehow what real power, reactive power and complex power. As we know, power, real power, that is measured in some kilowatt, watt, megawatt or gigawatt. Active power it is also called. And reactive power in war, that is denoted by Q, and S is denoted by kVA, that is complex power. And it is the what combination of active and reactive power. So for the power balance, the equation meets like S is equal to P plus JQ, or complex power, that is equal to active power or real power plus imaginary operator J and Q, reactive power. Reactive power is also called compensatory power. So this all comes, and the very important thing here is rating. So the rating of any of the electrical quantities like voltage, which is measured in volt, V denoted by V, current I, power P, Q, active power P, reactive power Q, and complex power S. They all are having rating. Rated voltage. Rating means the value of the voltage, how much volt, how much kilovolt, how much megawatt, whatsoever. So that rating may be adjusted either a step down or a stepped up by equipment that is called transformer. So transformer is nothing but transformer is the instrument. Transformer is a device that is used to what rate the electrical parameters, parameter tuning. So in any of the power sector worldwide, globally, or in Indian power sector, the contribution of how the power is getting to generate, power is getting to generate by conventional energy resources, that is also called non-renewable energy resources, by using some fuel like coal, like uranium, which are going to feed the base load, and non-conventional energy resources which are called renewable energy resources, that is solar, by solar irradiance, insolation means सूर्य की किरणों से, and wind And biomass, MHD, magneto-hydrodynamic generation. In MHD, what? If a flowing fluid means liquid or gas, flowing liquid, moving liquid. If some moving liquid or a gas which is a fluid, and it is coming under the periphery of magnetic field, then at that time electric field is getting to induce. That is why it is called MHD generation, magneto-hydrodynamic generation. Fuel cell and geothermal means the heating of earth, ocean, tide and wave energy. These all comes under the renewable energy. So the power can be generated by renewable energy, non-renewable energy, and that is the contribution of the renewable and non-renewable energy, that is of a prime importance to the entire Indian power sector. So in in any of the context of the power sector, like in Indian power sector, so the conventional energy resource like thermal is operating as a base load. Base load means a minimum amount of load which is needed. Load means which is consuming some energy, which is consuming some power. So it means a least number of power which is necessary to generate, which is necessary to produce in the power plants in generating section, and that is why that is called base load. And peak load in the morning time, let us suppose everybody needs power, everybody is going to switch on and everybody is going to operate their equipments also. In evening time also everybody needs power. So there is a peak time, so that is peak hours, and like peak shaving and peak shifting operations, they are also getting to perform in these peak hours via using some rebates to the amount of the unit of the power, which is also called tariff. There are many types of tariffs in the power sector. So reliability, this all things comes under what? Reliability means reliability is a measurement, is a smooth flow of the power, means a smooth supply which is not having any harmonics, any disturbance, any voltage sag, any voltage swell. Sag means कम वोल्टेज का होना, swell means किसी चीज़ का सूज जाना, वोल्टेज का एक रेटेड वैल्यू से ज़्यादा होना. So it means these are fluctuations which are not desirable, they are interruptions in the power. So fluctuation, voltage drop and voltage droop. There is a difference between voltage drop and voltage droop. Droop means a slanting, एक ढलान, एकाएक voltage का गिरना, that is voltage droop. So this all comes under what? The regulation section of the power. So who they are going to keep into action? By future market operation, the utilities, what they are doing, they are assessing, they are forecasting, predicting the future demand, and they are managing that in whatever area how much power is needed in the near future. So regulation is also very important to maintain the power factor, not to produce any power pollution in the power lines, not to inject any harmonics in the lines, because if load is operating, electrical load is of non-linear nature, it is going to induce some of the harmonics. So to safeguard harmonics also. So distribution and dispersed generation. Renewable energy, through renewable energy, let us suppose distribution in power sector, in power system, generation is there, then transmission, then distribution. This type of distribution is called passive distribution system, because in passive distribution system a conventional method is used that from generation the power is getting to flow through the distribution. But in active distribution system, in distribution section also power is getting to generate, which is called a distributed generation, DG. And DG, distributed generation, may be done by renewable resources as well as non-renewable resources, for the sake of the feeding of the local load, or for the sake of the immediate load. Because if we will generate in the distribution section also as a DG, using the DG resources, power loss will be less and the voltage will be standard, the rating of the voltage will be standard. So nowadays the role of the AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, optimization algorithm, computers, microcontrollers is also getting to seen. This is all comes under the simulation portion also we are going to do in the power sector. So in this lecture, what we are doing, we are having a brief concept of the power sector, power system, that in the power system in the near coming future videos, what we will discuss step by step, topic by topic, section by section. So how the Indian power sector is, what is the need of the Indian power sector? It means to maintain the reliability, the smoothness, the quality power, and the power which is expected, and the power for which per unit the bill is getting to pay. So it means that that power should be 24/7, easily available all the times, and available with the desired operating frequency as well as the ratings. So this is all calls the regulation of the power sector. So because in heavy electrical machineries or whatever the load is getting to operate, that is going to have somewhat, that is going to have the injection of the, that is going to induce some of the harmonics and disturbance in the power sector. To overcome this, there may be stability concerned devices like FACT devices, flexible AC transmission system devices. This is going to stabilize the system. Suppose in power sector, in power system, there is fault occurring somewhere. The fault immediately comes. Fault may be of symmetrical type, unsymmetrical type. That may be LG fault, double LG, line to ground fault, double line to ground, triple line to ground fault. That may be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Mostly occurring fault is line to ground LG fault, single line to ground fault. So if suppose it is occurring, so immediately the unhealthy section is cutted off and then diagnose and then again join. So it means that there would be what? There would be a easy diagnosis to the system, and stability is nothing but a robustness. It means whenever the fault comes, immediately system will self-immune and come into the normal operation. That is what stability. For that sake, FACT device is also there, because all the power system is treating with high voltage. For that sake, we are also going to discuss EHV AC, EHV DC transmission, UHV means high voltage DC transmission, extra high voltage DC transmission, ultra high voltage DC transmission. It means that because in DC there is no role of frequency. Suppose in one area there is some more operating frequency, in some more area there is operating frequency different. So we cannot synchronize directly the power, we cannot flow. So to overcome this, HVDC is used generally, because this is not having a concept of frequency. So we will discuss also the inductance and resistance of transmission line, capacitance also. We will discuss bundled conductors, how we are using skin effect and proximity effect we will also discuss, and we will discuss the representation of power system component like per unit system. Why the per unit system is getting to use? Because there are different units, there are different values. So what is the advantage of per unit system, PU system? And what is the characteristics and performance of power transmission lines, like what is Ferranti effect? The magnitude of receiving end voltage is greater than the sending end voltage. So that is Ferranti effect. Whenever the receiving end voltage is greater than sending end voltage, at that time need to inject some reactor so that the overrating will be soaked. And whenever the rating is needed, need to induce some capacitor bank or group of capacitors so that the rating would be maintained. So these are some of the things which we need to study, and we will discuss all these things, because we are seeing in the day-to-day life everywhere, in the also day-to-day life we are watching in the entire power system around us. So load flow study. What load flow study? Basically up to the generation to the distribution, how the distribution is getting to converted into smart distribution system, how the distribution system is optimized, every system is optimized, how it is getting to be active from passive using DG, distributed generation. So that all comes a load flow analysis. Load flow analysis methods differently used are Newton-Raphson method, decoupled, fast decoupled method, and backward forward sweep method, and number of iterations we are doing, then decoupled method. So there are different methods, optimization methods. Optimization means to get the desired output, what we want, what the power system actually designed for. So that is optimization. It is having some objective. We will also discuss optimal system operation, automatic generation and voltage control, and symmetrical fault analysis and unsymmetrical fault analysis, power system stability, transient stability, steady state stability, and equal area criterion. and circuit breaker and power system protection. What are isolators, what are arresters, what are breakers, so fuses, because they all comes under what? They all comes under the power protection, because firstly we generate the power, then transmit the power, then distribute the power, and then protect those power instruments, either generators in the generator section or alternators, those are having more ratings, and transmission lines, the erected transmission lines or the commissioned or installed transmission lines or distribution system. Likewise, the protection system already, either primary protection system or applying the secondary protection system whatsoever. Then we will discuss the grading cable, the concept of corona, hissing phenomenon. Corona means the glowing charge, glowing discharge, glowing, and that phenomenon of the corona. And HVDC, as we have discussed, HVDC, EHVDC, UHVDC, and distribution system we will discuss, like radial distribution system, mostly used RDS, and what ring distribution system, networked and mesh distribution system, as well as a loop distribution system we will say, and voltage drop in the DC distribution system, and voltage stability. So what is voltage collapse like this? What is outage? Outage means up to when the power is not coming. Outage means the shortage of the power. So what actually needs is, what anybody of the power consumer is needed is what? 24/7 reliable power supply, qualitative power supply. So for that sake, everything is needed to be fit and fine, and up to the future market operation, that how much power is getting to needed, and that is to be done by the utilities. That may be either like government utilities or some private utilities also. And by maintaining the operating frequency, whatever is there, that is also called the supply frequency, and that is having in their different areas, different countries and horizons having their operating frequency also. So what is the main important thing? The main important thing in power system is a smooth power supply, the smooth current supply, and there should be a proper power all the times, without interruption, without pollution. Every time the power is to be, because in the automation era, everything needs to operate with the power or the current or the supply, so that the mass production would be there, so that the highly productive work should be there with those machineries, those equipments, instruments, to meet the desired objective for what they are designed for. So in the near coming future section, in the near coming future lecture, what we will discuss in the near coming future discussion, up to the practicing discussion and application part also, and the research forecasting part, and the new portion also, with we will discuss thoroughly, one by one, step by step, and that is all up to this video.